Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Taz from Take It Outside. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. Thank you all so much for your continued support. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, smash that subscribe button down below. So, as I mentioned before in a post up on my YouTube, the Go Fast Glove giveaway is done. We will be making that announcement March 6th around noon. It's going to be completely randomized, and one of you who followed all the directions will be the lucky winner. I'm thinking about doing another giveaway of some other items for another subscription goal. Haven't really made up my mind what I want to do just yet, but yeah, anyways, so moving along into future videos, we've got a lot cooking up for you and for myself, really. I've got some thrashing supply items that have been kind of sitting on the back burner waiting for other items to come in. My guys over at ITD, they hooked it up, was able to get with them and get some more items in to finish off the look with the ST Bronze stuff, so we'll be installing those as well in a future video. Again, thank y'all so much for your continued support. Be sure to stick around, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and let me know what you liked about the video in the comment section down below. So y'all stick around and we'll get this thing going. People keep driving by, and I'm too self-conscious to film while they're driving by, and plus it's loud. Anyways, take whatever. What did my old lady get me for my early birthday present? Ba-bow, right there. We got that Klock Werks, y'all. On top of that, we have got timeout. Top of the Klock Werks, we've got a couple other items to install. Saddlebag Reflector inserts by Kustom Cycle parts, custom with the K. As always, I'll link everything down in the description below if you want to check it out. I went with this good old American flag, kind of matches my truck a little bit, but they've also got, you know, various other text, images, whatever. They also do, you know, custom uploads and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and get this windshield installed. Pretty simple. Going to make a big difference. All right, so as y'all know, smokestack is a 22 Road Glide ST. This is the stock windshield, and all you've got are these 4 Phillips head bolts. Boom, 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 boom. A little plastic washer. Go ahead and pull those off, and then this slides right off. You're going to leave this lower or upper fairing, I don't know, this like wind deflector vent thing, you're going to leave that on. So I am super excited about this. Aside from looks, which is a huge deciding factor, this is actually a pretty good, I wouldn't necessarily say like performance part, but if you get a lot of like wind buffeting and stuff like that on your helmet, look into these. Memphis Shades make some, but I just think the Klock Werks looks a million times better. I'm nervous I'm going to drop this. Pretty much plug and play. You're going to reinstall your 4 screws here. Now, one thing that is vitally important about the Klock Werks windshield, I'm not sure how the Memphis shade works, but you have to measure before you buy one of these. And you got to figure out, do I want the flare? Do I want the Pro Touring? What do I want? And that's completely up to you. That is rider discretion. Now, it is super easy to measure for these. You just need a buddy. I use my old lady. And all you got to do is sit on your bike like you normally would. Make sure that you're not, sitting up. If you wouldn't normally sit up, you want to be, in your riding position to get this right. And basically, what you're going to do is you're going to be on your bike, arms going to be out like you normally would. You're going to be sitting like you normally would, and you want something long. I used my tripod here, and you want to go right above the lip, and you want to measure straight out. All right, and then, well, not measure, but you want to point straight out right at your top lip. And what you're going to measure is right here, right in the middle here. You're going to take a measuring tape, and you're going to measure directly perpendicular. So imagine this is super long. You're going to take your measuring tape, and you're going to measure straight down perpendicular to this point right here. And that is going to be your measurement. So for me, I was like right around 9 and some change. She doesn't know how to read a measuring tape. That's fine. It's no big deal. Measured that, and so I got the 9-inch flare in bronze. It's almost like, the way I understand it, the bronze is almost like the smoked, where you can still see out a little bit. But whenever the sun hits it ever so slightly, it gives you a bronze tinge. Now these, you want them tight, but you don't want them to be like extremely excruciating tight. Dude, this thing is absolutely sexy. 9-inch flare. God dang. So good looking. So good looking. So, what makes this Klock Werks Flare windshield so special is this flare right here. It shoots air up and over you, rather than coming right here and smacking you right in the face. Along with these hips, it just disperses everything up and around you. And the way they basically describe it is the air comes up, flips over you, you've got a dead pocket of clean air right here, which apparently improves, sound quality from your radio and, your exhaust, and obviously, you don't really get any kind of buffeting. Because before, my issue was I was getting smacked like right in the middle of my forehead with wind whenever I was riding. And, it was manageable. Definitely not as bad as a sports bike, that's for sure. But this is going to be extremely beneficial. Plus, it's just a badass looking windshield, honestly. I'm super excited for it. This bike is coming together quite nicely. But yeah, the Klock Werks, YouTube channel, they do a much better job explaining everything. So go ahead and check them out. We're going to go ahead and install those other pieces. All right, so for these reflector inserts here, You can use a pick or a trim piece remover, but the easiest way that the company recommends is taking a drill bit, drill in this top corner right here, and then get a screw or bolt that is slightly larger so it'll catch the threads and pull that out. But basically, these are just a decorative piece. I'll go into there. Obviously, go slow. All right, so you'll feel that go through, just like so. Oh, this drill bit might be a little too small. Stand by, I need to get a bigger drill bit. All right, once you've got that drilled out, you'll take your screw, and you're just gonna screw this in by hand. It'll start grabbing threads. You can see there, starting to lift up a little bit. Just take that, pull that off like so, and then just take your screw out. You could probably get a pick behind here if you want. Go out that way, but we're just going to repeat this process on the second piece right here. It's not that big of a deal. Boom. So now all you got to do is just get as much of this extra adhesive out of here as possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hair dryer, heat this up, remove it. Trim tool. It's real handy. You could use Goo Gone if you wanted to, but you're just going to have to really make sure that you get the Goo Gone off, or the 3M adhesive on this insert will not stick. Now, if you have a little bit of the stickiness on, that's fine. It just kind of depends on how in depth you're wanting to get with this. Me personally, I think it's fine. I just want to get this big bulky stuff off so that it will sit in there relatively flush. So once you got that, go ahead on these edges. Like I said, I don't really care. I'm gonna leave a little bit in there, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit this adhesive right here, a little bit of heat, so it'll activate, and then I'm gonna take my hand, or even this right here, kind of rub that, help activate it. And all you're gonna do is just take off the red, make sure you leave the actual adhesive on there, which this seems to be a pretty thin layer, so be mindful of that. There you go. Take that off. You probably can't see that at all, but this is a very, very thin piece of adhesive. And then just slap her on in there. She's nice and flush. So had I not taken out that big glob of adhesive, this would be protruding rather than being flush like it is. But yep, that's it. And like I said, I'm gonna go out for a ride tomorrow, and I will add a video at the end of this of what she's looking like.